All right, let's try it again. Hello, and welcome to issue 6 of ComiCentric. I am your host, Cruz. Today we have an interesting show. We're going to be talking about what's been going on here at Nostalgic Comics in the last few weeks. We're also going to be touching on the subject of this weird resurgence that's been going on with movies recently. To talk about that, we have our good friend Peter here and also our good friend Marisol. So stay with us while we take a short break and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Now, as I was saying before, we're just going to talk about what has been going on for the last few weeks here at Nostalgic. With me again here is Mari. Say hello, Mari.
Hello.
And Peter. Say hello, Peter.
Hello.
I'll start with you, Mari. Ladies first. What have you been up to the last few weeks?
Just pertaining to the comic book store.
Well, let's say since the last time I interviewed you and your mother.
Okay, saw Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Free Comic Book Day.
For Comic Book Day.
Yes. What else?
Okay.
The end of Moon Knight, I think.
Pretty much at the beginning. Yeah.
That was last week, right?
2 weeks ago.
That was last week.
Was it last week?
I think so.
Oh. Well, it'd be 2 weeks now.
Yeah, now 2 weeks. Yeah.
What else? Yeah.
That's it.
So on a comic booky geek leaning way, those are the things that have happened.
Okay. And you've been working here these last few weeks. How have you been enjoying it?
I love working here. This is like my second house. I make myself right at home. I'm like a cat.
You see the snacks.
Yes, there's lots of snacks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I like fuck shit up, but then I'm like, I'll clean it later, and then I do.
Okay.
I have a good repertoire with the customers, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have my favorites, but I won't say who.
Yeah, they seem to resonate with you.
Yeah, I like being here. It's like very warm and welcoming. Pete's cool to hang out with.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
No, I literally feel like Pete gives me more cred with the rest of the world than I deserve because
What do you
he
mean?
teaches me so much about shit. Like people, let's just say people are talking and I'll be like, oh, I know this thing because Pete told me this story, and then I'll just like talk about it. Or I'll be like, I know this because Pete said this, or he's like my little like. In The Simpsons, that little creature that talks to Homer, the little alien?
Yeah.
That's Pete.
Kazoo?
Yeah, it was Kazoo. That's from the
I
Flintstones.
don't know why out of all the things, that's the thing I referenced. But yeah.
Well, he's short and green. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, so Pete gives me street cred.
No, that's
Geek
true.
cred, all that.
Well, he really trusts you with the whole story.
Yeah.
You haven't burned it down yet, so that's the only stipulation.
Yes. Also, being friends with Pete made me appreciate Doctor Strange on like a whole other holy level. Because I feel like if I hadn't met Pete or worked here or talked to you guys, I wouldn't have appreciated it as much as I did.
Okay.
And now it is in like my top MCU movies.
Oh, wow.
Tied with like Black Panther.
But
Like they're like head to head right there.
Oh man, Chadwick Boseman versus the Doctor.
And if Edgar Wright had done Ant-Man, that probably would have been up there too.
Yeah, that would have been a trip.
Yeah, so those would have been the three if that one existed.
Yeah, well, maybe next multiverse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Pete?
What's the same, really?
Putting up with me.
How's it been putting up with her?
I know, it's fun. It's fun.
He's saying that on the air.
Yeah, I know. You can't see the threatening look. Okay.
I'm not even looking at you yet. My mind's eye is looking at you.
No, yeah, we had Free Comic Book Day and
we survived.
I feel like I'm still freaking tired, man.
From that?
Yeah, from that.
Wow.
It was a long day.
Yeah, we had vendors and we had artists.
Mm-hmm.
We had people that show up who we never seen before.
Always.
We had people that show up who we haven't seen in years.
Yeah, and we had people show up that we only see on Free Comic Book Day.
That's very much true.
It was a lot because it was basically like socializing with new people, family reunion, and con.
And mini-con.
All thrown together.
Yeah, Free Comic Book Day has a way of like compressing time where you feel like, oh, this has been like 4 or 5 hours. You're like, oh, an hour.
That's how we felt.
Yeah.
I literally was like, why is it 1 o'clock? We had just opened at 12.
Yeah. And at first I thought there was no one that's going to come in, but all of a sudden we just got that crazy wave of people.
By 4 o'clock, going off of you giving out the books, we had already seen at least 200 people.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you know what's funny? A couple of people would be like, no, I don't want the free comic.
Yeah.
So it's probably more.
Yeah.
And that was at 4, and you guys didn't close till 7.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, by 7 we were out at least of the Marvel and DC stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have that same fear every free comic book day. Either it's gonna be no one's gonna come,
Hmm.
or way too many people are gonna come.
I think we just got it right.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think it balances out.
maybe
pretty
another
good.
25 books for
Maybe in the future.
Just 25.
But I just, it was nice, man. Like but I always have that worry,
Mhm.
and I had it a little bit this time around because it's a new location.
Yeah.
People don't like change.
There's no sign.
There's no sign. I heard that so many times this
Yeah.
weekend.
No, yeah. Almost every day I'm here, I hear that.
Yeah,
You know?
every day. We're working on it.
It's like a running joke now.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys know you don't have a sign?
The guy with the spray can had the best idea. Just
Yeah,
get
he
up there
did,
and just
yeah.
write comics on it, and
I
you'll be
mean,
fine.
at this point,
The sign will come, and it's
And-
gonna be awesome.
the sign guy promised me it's gonna be the best looking sign in the city of San Gabriel.
Oh, I look forward to
And then
that.
we'll finally be a real store,
With
which
the
is
sign.
also a running joke.
Mm-hmm.
But it really did feel like that on Free Comic Book Day. I don't know. I guess that was like the thing that
Mhm.
made it like we did the first Free Comic Book Day,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we had so much room, and it flowed so nice, and people were having a good time, and taking pictures and hanging out, and I'm like, that is what I want out of a comic book store.
Yeah, that was fun, man. Deadpool, we had Deadpool walking around.
Deadpool,
Almost caused a car crash.
Deadpool was a highlight, yeah, it definitely caused a crash.
Yeah.
You know what? And not to get like mushy on you guys, but the Friday before we went to go eat, and
Yeah.
I remember we were talking, and I said I'm normally like a ball of nerves the night before Chicago Day,
Yeah,
and I was fine.
that tripped me out because I didn't want to say anything about that
Yeah.
because as soon as I said anything,
You literally were like walking around.
that's all you could do.
But yeah, no, I think this time around I wasn't nervous because we had talked about it, we had figured it out, we had everything laid out. It was you, me, Mari, and Joanna, and we had all four corners covered.
Yeah.
And I think we finally figured it out. I think we have
The structure.
the structure.
The Fantastic Four.
I think we are.
It worked for me. No, I'm serious because most of the time I'd end up going on the day, no information whatsoever. How are we going to set this up? Where are we going to
Yeah.
put this person? How are we going to do the people?
Yeah.
How are we going to set them
Like
up and
you
line them
guys
up?
did I think we just attacked it well. Like
Mm-hmm.
the social media was well, promoting it in the store was well. You guys knocking it out the night before,
Yeah.
cleaning the store and the layout and everything, the logistics.
Yeah, we did that.
Mhm.
We had-
And then all four of us with Joanna, like the flow, because I was just at the register. She was actually with all the people. So, like, she had to actually deal with the free comic book
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I just had to deal with the people that bought stuff.
Frankly, I thought I was going to be in her position because
Mhm.
that's a position that more people try to talk to you. Well, how many can I take?
Yeah.
Oh, what about this
Yeah.
and that? I was in the door,
Yeah.
so I thought there's going to be a lot of people, so I'm
No.
going to have to hold them back.
Yeah.
It was
I
a
think
good
it-
flow.
Yeah, I think that was another nice thing about it was we were kind of disappointed in the beginning. It wasn't a huge line, but
Yeah.
it was nice that it was like a constant.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was all day, just like people,
Wow.
people, and then like people were in all parts of the store. Like there was people always here in the indie section. There was people in the dollar
Mhm.
boxes. There was
Mhm.
people at the artists that we had featured here. Like there was just always people around, and it felt really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we'll do a shift.
Yeah.
That way we don't get bored from one thing
Yeah.
to another.
I think it's better that we're done that way. I think if we would have had a big line, I think it would have been really bad. I think we would have had issues.
Yeah.
Because it was hot that day too. So like
Yeah, it was hot.
having people stand outside like that, it would have been rough.
It was rough.
I mean, it was. It could have been rougher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we handled it. It was good.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
there's like some retention, which is cool because then that's how we get new regulars.
Well, one of them I heard him say, "Oh, I've been looking for a comic book shop."
Oh yeah.
And I was gonna say, well, there's like 3 in the area, but I
Yeah, but he was super excited because we're having a signing here on Saturday
Oh yeah.
with Juan Gideon
Mm-hmm.
for the.
By the time this
Jurassic-
comes out, though, it's already happened.
No, yeah, but he was really excited about that, and it feels cool being able to be like, oh, we just have free comic book day, but we have this event, and like,
Yeah, like look at this whole next couple of weeks. It was nonstop. Like,
Yeah.
When this came out, or the week before for Comic Day, we had Latino Expo.
Uh-huh.
mhm.
And then for Comic Day, now we have a DC artist signing at the store.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, we have a bunch of anime voice actors in the store for Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and then we have a break. But there's just like a lot. but it's bringing in so many people like that usually would come in like once in a while, and now
Yeah.
they're like always here because there's always stuff to do.
Yeah, and we got the space for it now.
Oh yeah.
We got the space for that, as we know this from Free Comic Book Day. Because at the old place, you'd have maybe 1-2 people tops, and that would be it. 3 would be stretching it.
Yeah, it was hard to fit people. It would
Yeah.
be more like a, well, I don't fit, so I'm just gonna grab my stuff and leave.
Yeah. Now you can move around, like you said, look at the dollars, look at the indie section, and talk to people without being excuse me.
No, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think it was the first time in like the Weave origin stores that we actually have a space to move around in.
Yeah.
Because the old Galaxy was really small too.
That was also
Oh man, this is your guys's how many Free Comic Book Day?
20.
Yeah, probably
20th.
You and Pete have been working in Free Comic Book Day for.
Oh, working it maybe less.
Yeah.
But like you've experienced for the most
Yeah.
part 20 Free Comic Book Days.
Yep. From standing in line and waiting for us, Stan Sakai to be there.
Yeah.
And where
10
do
years.
you guys rank
At least
this
10.
one?
This is pretty good. I think it was really good.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I think we were still in the old store, so we
Yeah.
had them outside. We had the artists outside, so it was really cool because even if we had a line,
There was stuff.
there was stuff to do out there.
Yeah. There was 3 artists, I believe, and they're all outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was fun. I mean, we've had some weird ones in the past.
Yeah. For sure.
Remember that one with that lady butter dog? That one artist?
And they just kept that under the table, and then the tail would come out every once in a while, and that was adorable.
The kids would freak out.
Yeah.
We got a lot of weird days, man.
No, yeah. But we're finding our groove, finding our where we.
Yeah, I think that's the key, man. Just fucking plan ahead. I think.
Who knew?
Yeah, exactly. We're getting too old to shoot from the hip, man.
I think we're good at planning. We all have our strong points,
Yeah.
and together we knock it out.
Yeah, solid crew. I mean, we took the picture with all those the shirts, and solid crew. I thought, when I saw it.
Yeah, 'cause normally it's usually you, me, and whoever we can figure out to come down.
Yeah. Where it wants to volunteer, but now it's like, we're a little bit more committed to the cause, if you will.
Yeah.
But
it worked out, man.
Free Comic Book Day. I'll see you all next year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe we'll do that Halloween thing.
Oh, you actually want to do it this time?
I mean,
we could try
Do
it
you
out.
love Halloween?
Well, you'd have to get someone themed for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one time I did it because the Wednesday fell on Halloween on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Joanna did it. We were dressed up. We did the whole thing.
Lydia and Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you had the costumes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits so well.
But the funniest thing was that a lot of kids came in and they had no idea. They're like, "Are you supposed to be the Joker?"
Oh.
And I was like,
Oh man.
Have your parents sit you down, watch Beetlejuice.
"Watch Beetlejuice."
Talk to me. There's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, but they're little kids. They don't
Yeah,
want that.
I know. Still, it's Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Say it 2 more times.
No.
He might come ruin the podcast.
Or make it cooler.
That's true.
That's good stuff. So what else?
What else?
Next stuff.
What else?
Oh, we went to go see Doctor Strange.
You did go see Doctor Strange.
Doctor
And
Strange was awesome.
You mean Evil Dead 4?
And now we're getting into the meat and potatoes.
Ooh, Evil Dead 4. I mean, Ash was there.
He was.
Serving pizza balls.
You know what? I think the thing that surprised me the most about that movie is the fact you always hear directors quitting Marvel movies because they're like, "Oh no, Marvel doesn't make director movies; they make Marvel movies."
Yeah,
that was a Sam Raimi movie.
Oh yeah,
and that it's.
I don't know if I buy that anymore because Taika gets to do what he wants. James Gunn's doing what he wants, and now Sam's doing what he wants.
True.
Okay, but when you produce as good as they do,
no, yeah,
you get to do what you want.
But I mean, I love the Guardians movies. But the first one is not really much a James Gunn movie. You know what I mean? Because he did Slither and all that other stuff, and it's very, it's funny. Like the humor is there.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think once the first one did as well as it did, they're like, all right, do whatever you want.
No, yeah, he didn't reach his prime James Gunness till DC Suicide Squad. So
that to me feels like a full-on James Gunn movie.
Yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Taika with Ragnarok though was like.
It's funny with Ragnarok. I remember him giving an interview and talking about how it's basically Big Trouble in Little China in space.
What?
And then I watched it. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what this was.
What do you mean you watched it?
No, when I watched Ragnarok.
Uh-huh.
Well, a month before, that's how he pitched it.
Oh.
And like Thor Ragnarok is like he's in big trouble in China's space. He's just trying to get home, and he's trying to and it's basically that's what it is.
Yeah.
I see it now. Now I can never
Yeah.
unsee that.
So that make Helena like that Padme.
Yeah, basically. Right.
Huh.
But this one, man, it's freaking, oh man, like it's just so Sam Raimi. And I know people love those Spider-Man movies, and they're great, right? But those to me never felt like Sam Raimi movies.
No, they didn't.
You know,
not really. They
especially
were
with
more
dancing.
Like, yeah.
Spider-Man.
But this was a straight up like it was a horror movie. They kept saying Doctor Strange 2 was gonna be a horror movie.
Uh-huh.
It was,
yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, the characters of Evil Dead were there.
Yeah.
Those
basically.
Phantoms things look like.
It was a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot more blood than I expected, man.
There was a dead-eyed Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm. I thought we would have some like Raiminess and horror. I didn't think the whole movie was gonna go in, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, it didn't start off as a Raimi movie.
Yeah.
You know, with the whole orchards and we gotta find it.
But see, the thing is, I think it wouldn't have worked otherwise. Because the guy who wrote and directed the first Doctor Strange, he was supposed to do this one. Yeah. And that guy's known for what's that movie called? Sinister.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so that guy's a straight up like horror
guy. Yeah.
I think if you would have done it as a serious horror movie, I don't think it would have worked as well.
No, it had to be campy.
How would it have worked as a serious movie?
Yeah, I don't think it would have. Like.
So Wanda would have been more scary of some sort. They would show her in the background.
Yeah.
It's like what I was saying about the possible casting of Joaquin Phoenix as Doctor Strange earlier when we were having a separate discussion about stuff. It would have sucked the fun out of it if it was too serious.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Why not River Phoenix?
Oh, what? Wow.
Let me give you some reason.
It's set in the Viper Room, and the same.
But no, it had that Sam Raimi early horror stuff, which is crazy because I was listening to an interview with him earlier, and I think I told you earlier, like I was surprised to find that Oz the Great and Powerful was the last movie he directed before this.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, he directed an episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah.
That's about it since then.
Oz was the last movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But he's acted and stuff also since then. But again, since then, not directed.
It's just shocking that he jumped back in and this is what he gave us.
Yeah, and how did you go from that horror guy to a funny horror guy, Like, oh yeah, just give it to Sam.
Yeah.
Right. You'll fuck you with it.
Yeah. But it was just, I don't know, I was very surprised how much of his DNA was in that movie,
Yeah.
And I know it's funny because I know a lot of people don't like that.
It's super polarizing.
Yeah, because it's like, I remember the first movie he did post Spider-Man was Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah, that's funny.
And and they freaking promoted that as a straight up like horror movie. And then people went to go see it and they're like, what is this? It's funny. It's all goofy. The talking goat. And
you know what? It reminded me, if you guys seen Thinner?
Yeah.
It reminded me of Thinner with comedy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like my favorite isn't even a horror movie, but it's Trick or Treat, and that's like full on like comedic and it's horror, but like it's a black comedy, I guess you would call it.
That's the one with the little sack kid, right?
Oh yeah, my favorite. That's Sam. That's my boy.
It's your
Yeah.
I've never seen the first one. Is there more than one in that?
No, it's just the one, but there's a comic series and like.
And then the guy did the Krampus movie, right?
Yeah, and he did Krampus.
Oh man, I love that.
Which is also like a black comedy. Yeah. Like it's funny and it's horrific, but it's also hilarious.
Yeah, and that ending, wow.
But like those vibes.
Yeah,
and it's set in the same universe.
No.
Because you see Sam's candy.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you see Sam Raimi's car.
In every movie.
No, it's different. But yeah, so I mean, these whole shared universes things. You think that whole like I just mentioned the car? You think it all actually shares it, or it's just like, oh, here you go, kids, have some little.
I mean, it's cool little Easter eggs and stuff. Like, I mean, Sam Raimi movies, it's always the car and Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was not the funniest, but the part that I noticed the most while I was watching the movie was who did and did not react to Bruce Campbell in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, those that reacted, I was like, you're my people. And those that didn't, I was like, oh boy.
Okay, when he first came on, I don't think anyone noticed. I did the same thing. I looked around to see who noticed, and kind of no one was like, oh, that's him. It didn't look like him, really.
I think
you know.
Maybe out of the theater, like it was less than a third people reacted.
Well, I just saw the chin and I was like, that chin.
I mean, not to give it away, but like that after credits with him is very B movie.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's
that's
very, like
the best. And a lot of people would hate that is the after credit.
Yeah.
They wanted something like epic that's gonna lead to the next movie, and that's
No.
what we got. But I thought that was the most fitting, perfect
Yeah.
thing. All I needed him to say was like, "Wait, did he say groovy?"
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
It was an exclamation point for sure.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, the only thing was missing was Ted. Where was Ted Raimi?
Yeah. Unless he's hidden somewhere.
That's true.
He's the tentacle monster. But I think it's one of those things where I don't know if I would say newbie, but like newer to this than you guys, there's definitely a level of like mainstream and then mainstream-er to this.
Oh, right.
And like it's making the leap up. And some people are like, what is going on? I have no idea what's happening.
But they're having a good time.
Oh, I mean, I hope, because it is, like I said, very polarizing. And I would say Marvel is right now, like with that and Moon Knight, they're both on the level of like people get it or they don't, and they either enjoy it or they don't.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah.
Okay. And if they don't, then why toodaloo? But if they do, these are the people who are now going to start talking about, Raimi's old films and stuff like that, who are actually watching their old films and thinking, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
Not to say it's bad if you didn't like it, but it's kind of like this, it is what it is. This is the direction it went in. This is what's established now. And now everyone is like, who's Sam Raimi? Who's Bruce Campbell? Like, all of this is going to resurge. The resurgence has begun.
The resurgence has begun.
It's
groovy.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember I found a video of people saying like, "What do you need to watch before going into this movie?" Your typical like Doctor Strange,
Spider-Man,
But then they were saying like, "Watch Evil Dead, watch Dark Man, watch," and it was like, "Oh, I'm very surprised by that."
It ties in, I'm gonna say.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that I didn't know about Darkman until working here with Pete, and I now have a Darkman sweater.
Oh,
that is like my favorite sweater.
That was quick.
Yes, I mean, it was just so, I don't know what it is. Just it is pure joy, pure campy fun.
Yeah,
it is
very pulp.
One of those things that just instantly took me to my childhood of why I like pop culture.
Yeah. Well, he changes his face. He does. He has superhuman strength.
Yeah.
He was a superhero before superheroes were even a thing.
So let's give a recap of Darkman.
Darkman. Okay.
All right, recap of Darkman. Take it away, Pete.
Recap of Darkman. Oh man. Okay, so it stars Liam Neeson.
Yes.
Which is crazy. Yeah. And I think that was before he was in stuff.
Yeah.
That was before Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah. Oh, way before Qui-Gon Jinn.
Super way before.
That's before Schindler's List, right?
Yes.
Oh, was it?
I think so.
Oh, damn. Okay.
It starts Liam Neeson. It's about a doctor, a scientist, who is trying to develop this artificial skin for burn victims.
Right.
And he's made it, and it feels just like real skin.
Right. And he can mold it to whatever you want.
Mold it to whatever. He's got a machine that could sculpt people's faces and stuff, right?
3D printing before 3D printing.
Yeah.
With lasers and stuff, right? But the problem is, it only lasts 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And he can't figure out why. At the same time, his fiance, she works for the district attorney's office or something, and she finds out that there's some shady stuff going on.
Right.
And she goes to her boss to tell him, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." But then the boss sends these gangsters to shut her up.
Yeah, because she's getting too close.
She's getting too close. And then they figure out that the artificial skin, it'll last forever in the darkness. And so what ends up happening, the stories collide, and the gangsters show up, and they wreck the lab, and they blow up the lab, and the freaking scientist gets burned over 80% of his body.
Yeah.
Right? He's burned so they can't identify him. He's in the hospital. He's in so much pain, they sever his nerves. Now he doesn't feel any pain.
No pain at all.
All he can feel is emotional pain.
Boy, does he.
Yeah. which results in outbursts of superhuman strength, and
There's no synapse to cut for that.
No. And so basically he rebuilds the machine as best he can, and he uses it to get revenge on gangsters that burned them.
Yeah.
And basically, it's the whole premise is just like oh he's basically the Shadow in the sense that like he's a pulp hero. He kills people, and he could be anybody.
Well, the Shadow thing was once you didn't see him, you
Yeah.
forget him, right?
Yeah, he could be anybody.
Yeah.
And
Even Bruce Campbell at the end.
And I think the only leap of faith in that movie that it sounds crazy as it is, but the one thing that kind of always not bugged me, but it was just like, oh, that's kind of silly, is the fact that he could mimic voices.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
You just do it. Right?
There was no explanation for that one?
No, they show that one scene where he has a tape recorder and he's like the same thing over and over again. But
just not lyrical genius, but he can just nail it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
World's best voice actor.
Wow.
So yeah, it's very dark. It's kind of silly and funny too, though. He has these big freak out moments.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, for people who probably need a comparison, it would compare to me to Tim Burton's Batman.
Kind of.
It is like in the vein of like it's dark and super comic booky, but also campy and fun.
Okay.
Sometimes like ridiculous.
No, I believe
But when you package it all together, you're like, this is awesome, and I love it.
And it has the Danny Elfman music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is like it's
Because what doesn't? What hasn't he scored?
Danny Elfman's amazing.
Yeah.
And fit right now.
Oh my God! Did you see him at Coachella?
Oh God.
Oh my goodness!
But 60 years old.
Holy shit! If only I could be that fit at 60, yo.
So I'm gonna throw this into the whole like resurgence thing because it makes sense because all of our world is just like endlessly connected now thanks to the internet probably. But Danny Elfman did play Coachella and did theme songs, and the Spider-Man theme song played at Coachella, which I never thought would be a thing, but it happened.
I mean, yeah, it was. I played that at least 3 times that weekend that it came out because he did, I think, Saturday.
Yeah.
And I watched it live, and I was so in awe of it that on Sunday I think I played it another 2 times.
And this is the world we live in now. We
Yeah.
have Sam Raimi directing a Marvel movie, a huge Marvel movie. We have freaking Spider-Man theme songs being played at Coachella.
By Oingo Boingo.
Yeah. We have the resurgence of hopefully Bruce Campbell because that man deserves the world.
Well, he said he was in Stop Acting, right?
That's what he said.
But he's coming out in cameos left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he also said that he's retiring Ash, right? Like,
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's true, man. I feel like Sam Raimi would convince them to do something,
You're telling me Bruce
for
Campbell
Sam,
would
he would do it. And now Pete can explain why for those of you who don't know the relationship between Sam and Bruce Campbell.
Oh, yeah. They've known each other their whole lives.
They're basically the Pete and Cruz of B horror.
Yeah.
B horror.
But it's not really B horror. It can't be horror.
Yeah.
Well, I think what I would say in Evil Dead Maniac Cop, ever seen Maniac Cop? They did that, and that's one of my favorite movies also.
You believe that Evil Dead is 40 years old.
Shut up. It's as old as me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's 10 years older than me.
Congratulations, you're young.
I'm sorry.
That blew my mind. The thing that,
Yeah. 40 years.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of horror movies, but The Evil Dead is probably one of the most prominent, like sticking in my head. Stop laughing, Pete. Like that movie, the scene with the trees, just lives in my brain for some reason. Man. Why? I don't know. Don't ask me. And like literally growing up, my parents are kind of geeky. My mom was on a previous podcast, but like sometimes when I wake up in the morning, my dad will be like, "Oh, you look like the thing from The Evil Dead."
But which one, Dad?
Yeah, probably.
As campy and low budget as the first Evil Dead movie was.
Yeah.
The woman underneath the basement. That just scared me.
Yeah. Dead by Dawn.
Even as a teenager, I was like, "Oh, that's."
She was terrifying. Even when they did the remake and they just had her billboard everywhere, I was like, "Is that allowed?" Like, how many nights? It literally, I loved it. It was one of the things where I was like, "Holy shit, she looks scary, but I can't look away." And it reminded me of Jim Carrey's Grinch when I was a kid, and also being like, "This is terrifying, but I can't look away."
Well, that style of the Deadites at that time, there was no one else doing that, you know? Every zombie looked like every other zombie, and every dead person looked like every other.
And the other thing that is very Sam Raimi, and it's kind of unnerving, is the freaking floating camera.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's flying around, and,
Yeah,
how's he doing that?
How does he do that? Like, I need to see behind the scenes.
Oh,
he flies.
Yeah, no, he runs around with it. He's just running
around. No, but it's like so incredibly just smooth and dynamic.
Yeah.
I mean, he just mastered it. So
Yeah.
the movie literally flowed like Doctor Strange's cape.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah. And it had the Doctor Strange has so many Sam Raimi in it, man. It's a lot more violent than I thought it would be.
I think a lot more violent than all of us thought it was going to be. I knew there would be some.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But, Jesus, like, I won't say the scene because I don't know who's listening and if they've seen the movie.
We spoiled a lot already, so
Yeah,
I mean,
we did, but there was a lot of deaths I did not expect, especially in those ways.
mhm.
I feel like in Marvel movies, like when you see blood, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then it's everywhere.
Yeah.
They had freaking Wanda walking around drenched in blood, looking like a grudge.
Yeah.
Like,
looking like a deadite.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want all the merch of this.
Yeah.
When they caved in dead Black Bolt's head, I cringed a little because
Yeah.
it looked so like in an
Yeah.
instant, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh.
So not only that, I don't know what it is, but like especially the '80s movies, sometimes when you see someone lose their mouth, like it just disappears, like that's very disturbing.
Yeah, it's really unnerving
Mhm.
just seeing someone lose just like a limb like that because it's instantly like, how do you breathe? How do you eat?
Yeah.
Well, it's something psychological. We're so used to seeing the people's faces with eyes, nose,
Yeah.
and mouth that once you don't miss something, you're like, oh
Plus
my
the
god.
implications of that character losing their mouth. I was like,
Yeah, that character especially.
yeah,
I would have just been like, get a knife, cut it open, and just see what you could do.
that would have been even more horrific, but also very in
tune with
on brand.
Well, that's a very like horror movie trope, right? When their mouth disappear, their eyes disappear, you know, like it's like, oh.
Yeah, because we're used to it, seeing that.
Yeah.
And when we don't, it's weird.
But yeah, I think it's funny too. Like we're talking about, like this weird resurgence of these older movies, and you had it. What did you say? The Columbus.
Oh, the next generation is Columbusing like the previous pop culture and thinking like, I know I'm guilty of it from like the generation before me, and then the one after me is guilty of it for my generation. But it's literally
Columbusing,
like
you're
like
claiming
oh my
it.
God, I discovered this thing and it's so awesome and I love it.
Get out of here.
And then we're just here like, bro, this has been around since before you were born.
I've been doing that since like
I think that's like 80% of TikTok.
No. It's like, oh my God, we're just discovering it now.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say I don't like that it's a thing because then I can buy things.
Oh, yeah. The merchandise will come out.
Oh, yeah.
I remember after we watched Darkman, you asked about merchandise. I'm like, I wish there's Darkman merchandise.
And then I got a sweater because I love horror movies. So I'm in the horror community on Instagram, like following a bunch of stores. And one of the stores had Darkman shirts and sweaters, and I was like, holy shit, they like this is a thing, other people buy this.
They understand that it's a horror movie.
And even then, like, it was only like one of the horror shops out of so many I follow, and although I'm sure there's more that appreciate it, but I bought that sweater so fast. I brought it to work and I wore it like a fucking badge of honor.
That's right.
Like,
I think the only thing I ever owned Darkman was I found a cruise shirt.
Cruise shirt
at like a thrift store or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to buy this.
I had a figure.
Yeah.
There was a figure that, but I lost it.
And then those weird Marvel comics.
Yeah. I don't think I ever got those.
We have a Darkman comic here in the store, and it's in a box somewhere, and we need to like display it. We need the Raimi corner.
That's just part 1. What about like part 2 and 3?
Oh man.
Should we talk about those at all?
I still have to watch them.
Oh,
we never got to it because then we got into the craziness of like having to move stores.
Oh, right.
That's true.
Like right after all that nonsense. And now we're finally kind of settled here. So I feel like now we could watch it. Now we're getting into the like, what are we watching this day, guys?
I think we did the same thing with the Monster Squad, right?
Oh my God, I freaking love that movie. I never watched Monster Squad.
Like in your life growing up?
Like never. My mom was like, oh, I forgot to show you that one. But like Pete showed it to me and like it was so good. I went on my iPad and started designing all these shirts and like merchandise for it that I never got done. But
I saw it when I was small, and one thing I noticed when I resaw it as an adult is it still holds up.
Yeah,
it still holds up.
But it's not a kid's movie.
Oh no! But I saw it as a kid.
No, I'm saying no. When it was first packaged, it was packaged as a kid's movie.
It doesn't seem like a kid's movie.
It's not a kid's movie at all.
Well, there's kids in it.
I guess, but they're making jokes about their principal molesting them.
Yeah.
That's true.
What was the other movie you showed me
Which one?
with Michael J. Fox?
Oh, Frighteners.
Ooh, I love Frighteners.
I had never seen Frighteners. And my mom was also like, I didn't show you that one. And my mom's favorite movie is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And she knows we both love ghosts. So I was like, how dare you?
Wow.
How did you not show me this?
Well, that was also not for kids.
No.
Well, that's probably why, yeah.
But that was Peter Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jackson?
for his wife.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For his wife.
But I feel like you guys are like showing me all these cool things, and now I'm just like telling all my friends, like, "Whoa, look at this cool thing!"
Hey, that's how it spreads.
Yeah.
Word of
I'm
mouth.
missing it.
That's how we do it. Like we watched Six Stream Samurai today.
We didn't get to finish it. We had a power outage, actually multiple today.
But
Yeah, that was a very 90s,
yeah.
Yeah,
pop
but I want to finish watching it. It was really interesting.
rockabilly.
It was cool. I mean, because
Mhm.
like I'm growing up like you guys aren't alive, but like I have like Turbo Kid and
Mhm.
like all these post-apocalyptic cool weird indie movies, and that's like the
Yeah.
predecessor.
Yeah, I know that 16 Samurai was what Turbo Kid is because like
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't know many people that knew about that movie.
Yeah.
And I would bring it up and they're like, "What is that?" And like, yeah, it was very like I think Turbo Kid's the same way.
That's
like,
how I feel when I talk to people and I'm like, oh my god, Turbo Kid. They're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, Turbo Kid. And we have Turbo Kid comics here in the store.
Mhm.
If anyone comes to buy them and wants to be my friend, so we can talk about Turbo Kid.
Those are always the fun type of movies though. Like I think there's real independent movies. They're not always the best, like quality wise, but you can tell that the people working on them are gonna do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned Six Stream Samurai. We had
Mhm.
Mark in here earlier, and Mark totally dug on the
Yeah.
movie itself. A couple weeks ago, we had Valeria in here, and she dug on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
The
You know?
soundtrack was pretty fucking cool.
It's like some rockabilly rock, you
yeah.
know?
What are they called? The Red Elvises?
The Red
The
Elvises,
Elvises, yeah.
I
And they're
know.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other one we got? Bubba Hotep.
Bubba
Oh
Hotep.
my god, yes. Bubba Hotep, which we also have comic books here in the store. Bubba Hotep.
Yeah.
In a box somewhere.
But that one's that's Bruce Campbell
Mm-hmm.
and JFK.
What are we gonna watch next? Hobo with the Shotgun?
Oh, have you seen that?
Yeah, of course I've seen
Oh,
Hobo
okay.
with that
Well, in
shotgun.
that case, we can watch it
I mean, that's
again.
still pretty recent. That was
Yeah,
pretty-
Rutger
Afro
Howard.
Samurai, Hobo with the Shotgun.
And then Rutger Howard, he's known for those weird B,
Yeah.
violent movies and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh man, I haven't seen that in a while.
Oh, man.
What was the other one? Did you ever see that one? What was it called? Rubber?
The Tire?
The tire is killing people.
That's funny.
I
gotta
did,
watch
and
that.
and I couldn't keep my eyes out because it was so dumb, the premise. And then there was an audience at one point, and then I didn't understand the
Yeah.
movie, but I enjoyed the shit out of it.
I will say, and I apologize in advance to Pete and Cruz for what I'm about to say.
Oh no.
Because
boy.
I'm going to talk about Nicolas Cage.
Oh, well.
For those of you who don't know, which probably a lot of you don't, I am obsessed with Nicolas Cage. I love that man so much. But I feel like he's doing the slightly higher tier of those type of movies.
Yeah.
With like, what is it? The Ghosts of, oh my god.
The Prisoner of Ghosts.
Prisoners of Ghostland or Ghosts
Yeah.
of Prisonerland. And
Yeah.
then
Mandy.
like, Willy's Wonderland,
Yeah.
which I freaking love. All those movies, they're in the same vein.
Yeah.
They're just like with higher budgets
Yeah.
and have Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I mean, I never would have thought that we'd get an era of like Nicolas Cage making B movies, you know?
Yeah, and they're freaking cool. I'm just gonna keep promoting the store. We have Willy's Wonderland comic books here in the store available.
And we do.
Issue 3 is out
I
now.
hope they sell out by the time it comes out.
But yeah, I mean, like, because Bruce Campbell, he would do a ton of that stuff. Like, you know, he did a lot of sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
He did, what was it, Alien Apocalypse? And that was really weird. And
Dumb.
like, and was it The Man with Two Brains?
That was good,
Yeah.
actually.
You know.
But a lot of those times, those are the best kind of movies.
Mhm.
Like sometimes you get tired of watching the overproduced Nickelback of movies.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
I mean, that's why people don't like Nickelback, right? Because they're like overproduced to perfection. Like, that's why I didn't want to see that Chris Pratt like Tomorrow War.
Oh,
It just looked like overproduced like
which is
movie
really
crap.
funny because I ended up watching it.
Yeah.
And the third act, I feel like they ran out of money because it's Chris Pratt and J.K. Simmons
Yeah.
fighting this alien in the snow. And it's literally just a white background, and you
Yeah.
hear the noise of like wind.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's so
weird.
bad.
But like, I don't know, like all these like Netflix movies that
Yeah.
they're releasing, not all of them, but a lot of them, they're just like overproduced. Like, oh, we have to check these boxes, and all these people, like all these age categories can watch, and then we get money.
Yeah.
Like, I want to watch some weird ass movie, but that was like someone's passion project.
And then you have to watch the B in an independent movie, you know?
Yeah.
And then it sucks because it's like, who's to say that they're B literally just because of they're not on like streaming services as a star-studded, high-grossing movie best.
That's pretty much it.
But I mean, I think that's changed. Though. Look at the A24 stuff, where
Oh my god, I'm an A24 slut.
But they're attracting like big name actors.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, now though, I mean, before it was just some weird German guy you never heard of in the middle of nowhere.
Like, I love A24 movies, and they're usually the best of the year. But yeah, you're right. They're in that vein, and I think it's because they just do whatever they're gonna do, and they don't care.
No, I like the way they market stuff too. Because you see these trailers, you're like, I don't know what this is, but I'm in. Like,
well, the trailers don't make sense sometimes.
Yeah, like we're getting Men, and I'm so excited. Tickets are out, and I literally joked to P, I'm like, I don't know who the villain is, but I think the villain is gaslighting.
It seems that way.
Like, it's called Men, and they're all kind of suggesting to this woman, like, oh, well, you did this, maybe you shouldn't have done this, and like, I was like, is that the premise of the movie? Just a woman being gaslit?
Yeah, apparently her husband committed suicide, and they're like, "Why'd you drive him to that?" Like they're blaming her for it, and she's like, well, "What you got?"
Yeah, and then there's like some weird psychologicalness with like Adam and Eve and the apple and the snake and the tree, and I'm just like, men and women gaslighting.
Yeah, I'm out.
What was the other one? The Pete Davidson one?
I can't remember.
King of Staten Island?
Yeah.
Oh, that one, yeah. Oh, because
No.
he's in the new one.
Yeah.
Where it's like about toxic friendship.
Yeah.
Oh.
What is it? No More Bodies or something?
Like that,
That one looks hilarious.
I saw, I would say that was not horror. That's funny, yeah.
Yeah, like
But
that,
they're killing people.
that's a black comedy because they're
Yeah.
getting murdered, but they're just like, wow, you're hurting my feelings. I need a safe space. And
Yeah.
it's just like all these topics that they touch on, but in weird ways you wouldn't expect is so funny.
Yeah, I'm in for that one.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the modern B movie. You know, like it's just like it's weird and different, and you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, weird and different's always been our bread and butter.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, B movies are like a badge of honor now, because like, I think who started? Oh, was it James Cameron? And like before Alien, he was doing those weird, like on purpose B movies because they were just like, we need money and like make movies, and then he went on to do Alien.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of passionate, talented, incredible people that work on those movies. They just need more people to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue. I think that it came back to your point of like who said it's a B movie. The thing like a Grindhouse.
Yeah.
Like to this day, like that's one of my best theatrical experiences I've had. And I love the idea of like you sit there, you see a double feature.
Oh.
And you see the fake trailers and all that. Like that was so cool.
Machete in space.
Yeah. But then it didn't make money.
No.
And so those are considered B movies because they were like, oh, well, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, even though those are so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Or like, did House of a Thousand Corpses make money? Because that is one of my favorite. Like, is it even horror? I guess.
Yes.
Yeah,
and does it
kinda
make sense?
No.
It's freaking weird, but that movie is so good.
Sig Hag is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
But see, I think too, like I think a lot of people are getting smarter with it. Like Kevin Smith, like he has his audience.
Yeah.
Right? If they put that out wide release, I don't think they'll do well.
Right.
But he has those Fathom events
where they charge like twice as much per ticket.
But then you get to have a little more.
But the hardcore people will pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you see Justin, what's his name, become a walrus.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes, I love that movie. I mean, you got your Jersey Girl fans, and then you got your Tusk fans.
Is there any Geely fans out there?
You know, I've only seen Tusk once.
Were you too grossed out?
Yeah, it creeped me out too much. I was like,
it is very body horror.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Seen it twice.
But going back to Rob Zombie, he's doing that Monsters movie.
Yeah.
I have a constant argument with a friend who knows Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
I keep saying, I don't think it's gonna be gory.
No, it's not. This is like his sellout movie.
I finally saw some pictures of that, and it looks funny. Yeah. It looks fun. The costumes look great.
The reason why I don't think it's gonna be gory is because he's such a fan of the source material.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna mess with it that much.
No.
There will be some gore.
Probably. I mean, they're monsters, right?
Yeah, but it's not gonna be like what people expect.
Yeah,
I think
there's not gonna be beheadings on purpose. There's not gonna be like Texas Chainsaw Guy.
it's gonna be like probably the same level as Adam's Family. Like,
Yeah.
But that's weird funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I love weird
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Like there was them trying to burn kids alive at camp,
Yeah.
but it was funny.
Yeah. They weren't actually setting them on fire.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know what to expect from that movie. Like, I heard a rumor that he's trying to get it released in black and white too.
Oh.
Oh, okay, that's.
But big studios are like, oh no one watches black and white movies.
Tell it to the Snyderverse fans.
Yeah, that's a different whole other can
Yeah.
of worms. Huh?
And they should just release it and then also do like special releases in black and white.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people will go see it for the experience.
Yeah, I would go to
Yeah.
see black and white.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I experienced original Monsters, was in
Mhm.
black and white until they colorized it.
Which they look really weird.
Yeah. The weird pastels and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's why I like little artsy, small, like the Frida Cinema and
Mhm.
like Alamo Draft House. Like they bring back the experience to movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm real because they did that other Munster a few years ago with
With
the
Jerry, what's his name?
Yeah, Jared Connor was
Yeah.
Herman, but it was like the Pushing Daisies guy,
Yeah.
Brian Fuller.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
It was supposed to be a series, and I think they only shot the pilot. And
Was it called something Mockingbird Lane?
Yeah,
I think?
yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was cool, but it just wasn't. It didn't feel like the Munsters. You know?
Yeah. It's gotta have the feel around.
Yeah.
Weird side story. I used to have a Universal pass, and
Mhm.
one time we went, they said, "Well, we got to take the tram ride a different way because they're filming that."
Oh,
Oh,
really?
nice.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't get to see that?
No, we didn't get to see the house. No, because they remade the house and
Because
everything.
a lot of times they'll let you go through, but I guess it's
Yeah.
production to production. Like,
Yeah.
Depends.
I
was gonna jump out and see. What
Oh, yeah. That's so
It
cool.
was Eddie Izzard was grandpa.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I love Eddie Izzard.
Eddie Izzard.
But yeah, I think a lot of that stuff is slowly coming back. I think that whole like that genre is
Yeah.
Well, there's no new ideas in Hollywood.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny that you said that. That's what Taika Waititi was saying in an interview. He said that there's no new ideas, so now we have to go with the weird stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The stuff we didn't look at before.
Yeah.
You know, pick that up.
Which I'm so glad they are. Because then we wouldn't have things like anything by Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Our flag means death.
Yeah. Yeah. The weird stuff.
Yeah.
Let the weird stuff, let the freak flags fly.
Well, having said that, what do you think is next? I mean, for example, Howard the Duck had a weird start.
Yeah.
Right now there's a Howard the Duck.
We Resurgence.
Yeah. So I mean, do you think there'd be another Howard the Duck movie or what else?
Oh yeah, there should be something
Or
on
like
Disney Plus.
TV
Yeah.
show or something like that.
They have a whole platform where if they don't want to risk it for theaters, they can just dump on the platform. I mean, in that vein, look at the new Rescue Rangers movie.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
The fact that they use freaking
CGI.
that song,
Oh.
CGI, the context of the characters growing
Yeah.
up, like all of it, I'm like, this is for us, not for kids.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Do you ever wonder what Chip and Dale are doing now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. What
I
are-
mean, and it's John Mulaney and Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
The kids don't care, but I am like freaking ecstatic. I almost started crying when I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
I was like, this is for me.
Yeah, because when I heard the voices, who were going to be the voices, I was like, are they going to lower them down so they can sound like chipmunks?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, no, they're just using
Yeah.
their voices.
And then when they did that joke, I was like,
Oh yeah, that's their TV voices.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like things like that is the product of like all of our generation,
Mhm.
like the 70s, 80s, 90s kids.
Yeah.
Like they made that for us.
Mhm.
They're like, you guys are paying for the Disney Plus. We're gonna give you guys this.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, your kids can watch freaking Bluey all they want, but here's this Chip and Dale and with the creepy Peter Pan.
Man, that fat Peter Pan.
Yeah,
I cried, man.
I mean, speaking of Resurgence and my shirt that I'm wearing right now,
Huh.
there was so much prequels hate, and now everyone's losing their mind over Obi-Wan Kenobi, the
Mhm.
show that's going to be on Disney Plus soon. So
You know, I didn't get around to watching all of Clone Wars,
yeah.
but people have said that like that made the prequels better.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh my God, yes.
Well, you got to see the battle, you know, Genosha, whatever
I
it
will
was.
say that the Clone Wars made me cry so much.
Huh.
Like it was like I don't know who it was for.
Yeah.
If it was supposed to be for kids, but I was like, this is the most emotional. Like it was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a freaking novella. I think because we had Clone Wars is why we're lucky enough today to have the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus and Dave Filoni. Because if they hadn't done what they did with Clone Wars, I don't think we would have gotten that next step of Mandalorian and Boba Fett and
Bad Batch and all that.
That's what everyone says, that the Clone Wars reframed the prequel.
Yeah. It really did. Like, it gives so much context and emotion and depth to all the characters.
It showed you stuff you didn't know or knew, but now you can visually see.
Yeah.
What we were talking about, we watched on Star Wars Day a couple weeks ago, we watched Solo.
Yeah.
And I forgot that we got to see the crap. He was bragging about it.
The Kessel Run.
The Kessel Run.
I was like, what are you... Pete was just doing hand signals. I was like, I don't know what that means.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, you get to...
I forgot we got to see it.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's like one line in a movie, 50 years ago or whatever.
But it was a huge deal. Yeah. It was like the whole like act of that movie.
And he did it like not really accidentally, kind of, right?
He had to. He was forced into it.
Yeah. We watched Rogue One and Solo, and I was just like, these movies reframe so much of the rest of the story.
Well, one's a prequel to the prequels.
Yeah.
I loved how like watching that movie, it was like he's always bragging about, I did the Kessel Run. But you see, he barely did it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was an accidental.
Skin of his freaking teeth.
Because the way he explains it, like in the original ones, it's like, I did it. I'm a badass.
Yeah.
That's it. That's no period, exclamation point, done. But no.
Yeah. And I have not seen that movie since the first time I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And there was so much. I was like, dude, you see every key moment in his life. The only thing was missing was to see him and Chewie dump the cargo, pissed off Jabba, right?
Yeah.
That was the only thing missing.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I'll advocate for, like, I guess, sometimes we get tired of all these things being brought back. But at the end of the day, like, we don't have to watch it if we don't want to. But when it's good, it gives us so much more to appreciate about the thing we initially loved. It just gives us more reason.
Well, having said that, I originally wasn't going to go see Rogue One. It was because my little brother, I think it was his birthday around the time, and he wanted to go see the movie. He had just bought a Rogue Nissan.
Oh my God.
So, we all jumped on it and we went to go see that movie. As soon as that movie finished, I loved it. It ended where it started.
Yeah.
And to me, that was so freaking, I didn't know it. I didn't know that at the time. All I knew was going to be a prequel to that prequel. And that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And then once I was in there, I was invested. I was invested in every one of those characters. And again, it's because, that resurgence came back at the end.
Yeah.
Again, it's another one of like that one line in the original movie made that whole movie.
Yeah.
Rebellions are built on hope.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us knew what we were in for, because Jesus Christ, that's one of the best Star Wars movies. And I don't care who says like, there's so many people who haven't seen it, and I'm just like, you're freaking missing out.
And it really, again, it reframes Star Wars, because they were always like, we got the plans to the Death Star, and there's a flaw. But in that movie, we found out that flaw was built into it. That he wanted,
because the scientist that made it, or the guy that made it, built it there.
And then it just gives so much more to the fact that all these people were like standing up to the Empire. And like there was heroes that we don't even know about, and how many more are there that we don't know about?
Yeah, exactly.
Like all these untold stories.
Donnie Yen, again, one of my favorite scenes. That was one of I was waiting for that lightsaber, like you said, but no. He was one with the Force, and the one Force was with him, and that's all he needed.
Yeah.
Rogue One also has the best Darth Vader fight.
Oh my God,
ever.
yeah.
It isn't a fight. It's a slaughter.
Well, it's an extended slaughter to the first one,
that scene blew. I think it's like there's little moments in pop culture where it's like that scene, Captain America getting Mjolnir, like those are the scenes where you have to be in a movie theater.
You're holding on to the sides. Yeah. Well, the thing goes red, right? The thing goes red, and then
it's all dark.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that also, like again, reframes New Hope, because the first scene is Vader walking in and he's yelling at Leia, like, you stole it, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" And when you watch that movie, you're just like, he's like, "I saw you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through that little crack.
Yeah, like bullshit.
Well, also, he's so much more terrifying when you've seen Rogue One, because in the other one, it's just like, "Oh, Dad, like, I'm going out to this party, leave me alone." But he just murdered a bunch of people, and he's like, "Don't freaking lie to me!" Like, and she stands up to him, which makes her even more badass.
Yeah.
She's just like, whatever.
then you go find the droids, and the rest is history.
Star Wars history.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rogue One's really good, man. It's a really good movie, and I think a lot, like you said, I feel like a lot of people just missed it. They just like they skip over it, man. It's like
Yeah, they slept on that. They slept on Solo. They slept on Clone Wars.
And this was Happy doing it, right?
freaking Favreau.
Yeah. Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Sam was a big Star Wars nerd, man. Like he was in Clone Wars, and he's the voice of the little pilot guy, right? In Solo.
Yeah. That's him just probably living a dream.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Like it's crazy to think, right? The guy that did Swingers is in charge of freaking Star Wars now. You know.
I love Swingers though.
Oh, Swingers is a cool movie.
Yeah.
Did you watch that movie thinking like, oh, that guy can do a good Star Wars movie?
No.
I mean, it's Res of the Nerd.
Yeah.
Like Filoni and like him and Kevin Smith all getting to helm these projects that they only ever dreamed about.
Yeah.
It's just Rise of the Nerd.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, what was it? What was that movie called? It was like the Jumanji sequel. It was
Jumanji
It
sequel.
was basically Jumanji was in space.
Oh, Zathara.
Zathara.
Yeah, that was a John Favreau movie.
Really?
Yeah.
That was pretty much Jumanji in space.
Yeah, that was cool. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's just everything is the nerds are taking over. They're cool.
Yeah.
And everything is seeping in.
Well, what else is coming out that's going to be a resurgence? Well, Firefly is getting a resurgence.
Not a resurgence, but something that blew my mind is the fact that Blake Lively is going to direct Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley.
Yeah.
Never in my life did I think that Blake Lively...
Country singer?
No, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' wife, Gossip Girl, the original Gossip Girl, is going to direct a graphic novel of Brian Lee O'Malley's. Like,
I'm thinking Blake Shelton. Sorry.
Like, when I heard that news... It was like my universe is imploding.
You know what? No, I think you can do it.
No, I'm happy. It's just I never ever would have ever in a million years been like, oh yeah, Blake Lively's gonna direct Seconds.
Yeah.
Like it's those kind of things where I'm just like, oh my god, like what is happening? Like all my dreams are coming true. Gossip Girl is gonna do a Brian Lee O'Malley movie.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a weird movie, man.
Yeah, that book is weird already.
That book's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, we skipped over the biggest resurgence, the original Jurassic Park cast in Jurassic World. Like all of these full circles.
Like they all tied in. I thought they were a whole new world, a whole new place, but no, it turns out it's all.
You know, it's funny because me and Joanna were watching those movies. We were seeing it as they came out in the theater, and I didn't realize when we took her to see Jurassic World, the first one, she had never seen the original Jurassic Park.
The first one?
Yeah. And so
shame.
When they finally showed up on Netflix again, we watched the first one, and she was like, "Oh, this is cool." She liked it, and she goes, "Should we watch the other ones?" And I'm like, "Don't really have to." I feel like I think Jurassic World is a sequel to that first one.
Yeah, but I love the original 3 Jurassic Parks.
Yeah,
they're like in my DNA.
Yeah, I used to take my little brother to go. They were like 10 years old. He was like 10 years old when that came out, right?
Yeah, because the last one was late 90s or 2000s.
It's been a while.
That's the one with Sam Neill comes back, right? With the rich kid that he got.
Yeah, it's when he's heading in that cool little underground bunker.
Yeah. Because I remember, the second one is just
Malcolm
Goldblum, right?
Yeah. With his daughter. Yeah.
But that's a silly one, right? She's a gymnast or something, and she does a fucking spin and kicks a dinosaur, right?
Okay, they're all a little silly when you think about it, but
we watched the original Jurassic Park, and it was just like, I hadn't seen that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And man, it still holds up. The dinosaurs still look really good.
Those dinosaurs, I will always take the Jurassic Park dinosaurs over the Jurassic World ones. I'm like, full CGI? No.
Yeah.
Give me those puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're so expensive, though.
They have the budget. I mean, you really think they're going to be like, nah. It's kind of disappointing that they went full CGI.
Yeah. Maybe next one.
Yeah, no.
There's no more.
That was the best part of Jurassic World, the very first one, was they bring back the T-Rex.
Yeah.
To fight the new T-Rex or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, the mega T-Rex or it was.
And it's like, oh, that's cool. And it's very fucking Godzilla, very old school, you know?
Yeah.
Which Godzilla?
And all right.
Well, it's like you're getting the 54 to battle the 85, you know?
Yes. And then on next week's episode, we'll talk about how me watching Tank Girl on Channel 5 molded my life. No, I'm just kidding.
On Channel 5 is watching, with the Ice Cube as the dog man?
Yes. Was I supposed to be watching Tank Girl?
I mean, it's not very,
I was like 5 years old.
It was on Channel 5, so it was edited for TV, so you're fine.
There was still sex.
No, doesn't the freaking like the general want to rape her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Like as a child, I would watch Tank Girl. What were my friends doing?
You know what's funny? I saw this thing with Jamie Hewitt, and he was talking about how they were flown out to the set of Tank Girl,
Yeah.
but they weren't. They didn't ask him anything.
Oh.
So he watched that movie. And he was like, "All right, you're paying me, right?"
Yeah. I mean, I loved that movie as a kid.
Well, that was that.
Had no idea that it was anything.
Yeah.
I just loved that movie.
But I love that it had the little Jamie Hewitt animations in between. That was
Mhm.
really cool.
It was like the Batman powers.
Yeah.
But that was around that same era, right? Where they're picking up all these weird, like it went from pulp comics
Mhm.
to just weird indie comics, right?
Yep.
They did what was it? There's that whole era with like the Phantom and the Shadow and the Rocketeer.
Mhm.
There's probably more that we're forgetting.
Yeah. But going back to what we were talking about earlier, Darkman was a result of that.
Yeah.
Like Sam Raimi wanted to make the Shadow, and they wouldn't let him, so he's like,
Yeah.
"I'll make my own Shadow."
I remember you were telling me the story.
And then he was saying he wanted Bruce Campbell to be the Shadow. Like, that's the perfect, like, 90s Bruce Campbell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He looks like an old Pope drawing. Like,
I don't
With the
get why
chin
they
and
did.
everything.
Like they didn't.
Yeah.
Although I'm kind of glad they did because the trajectory that it went in,
Yeah.
like, is where we are now.
Mhm.
But maybe in some other multiverse, there is the Shadow starring Bruce Campbell.
And it's funny, I was telling her that when we had the 5-year anniversary,
Mhm.
we were watching Briscoe County Jr.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we had them all going on. And a friend of mine, someone came down and was like, "Why wasn't Bruce Campbell a bigger movie star? Like he's so good looking." Like
He's good looking, at the charisma. Yeah.
We were
The
talking about
chin?
it yesterday,
Yeah.
right? And I was talking about it with random people just because Multiverse Madness just came out. And one of my friends wrote back, Bruce Campbell was my awakening.
Oh my God.
Although I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I mean,
My pants did these things, and I don't know. I could see it.
Yeah.
like it really like because he was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he was in early Coen Brothers movies and like
I mean, the only reason I kept watching Burn Notice was
yeah.
him.
Dude, he was really good in that.
Mhm. Sam Max.
Yeah.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is how we bring it full circle back to Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
We literally went off on like so many tangents, and we're back on Bruce Campbell.
Well, I think with that, I think we could pretty much end it now.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so much we can cover
we
more.
could just keep talking for hours, but
Yeah.
I think we're good for today.
It's nap time for some of us kids here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about that weird Evil Dead remake.
Oh yeah, no, that's another kind of one.
Yeah.
Well, that's a more recent
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
you know.
We'll talk about just remakes later.
Next
Oh,
time.
there's a lot. There's
Yeah.
a lot there.
Oh yeah. Well, in that case, we're gonna end it here. Thank you very much, Marisol, for being with us tonight.
Of course.
I really appreciate your 2 bits and 2 cents on this. And Peter Mellini, thank you very much for this.
Anytime.
Join us next week. Probably get Marisol to be in here, and we'll talk some more nonsense about more nonsense.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. And with that, thank you very much. And till next time, just keep it tuned to ComiCentric. You can find me on Instagram under ComiCentric, on Twitter under ComiCentric. Till then, take care of yourselves and bye.